Today, I'm going to go over a few small things with this drill just to make it a little bit easier and a little bit more knowledge when you're using it. So, to start with, when we are going out to a field or traveling down the road, this is where we would engage and disengage the chain. So we want to make sure that when we get to the field that these locking bolts actually slide in to here, and that it goes through and it locks here to engage the wheel for the chain driven. So when you're done using it out in the field, again, we want to turn this wheel so that it's going to be a little bit. So you pull it out and turn it to lock that open. One thing that sometimes does happen when you lock it open like that is, see how this is all loose, but this isn't going, these bolts aren't going in, is that this bolt gets stuck on here. So you want to make sure that even though this is loose and this isn't going to engage, potentially sometimes this sticks if it's not greased properly, and you will actually, even though it's not engaged, your chain will still be going. So we need to make sure that no bumps in the road are going to knock this back in to engage it. So what you'll do if it's loose like this is just nudge it, see how it went back into that hole, and this wheel is now, you can't move it, and it's locked. So that's one of the things that we need to watch for. So carrying on from that, when we are traveling down the road, again, it's all with greasing this machine. We try to keep it well greased as possible, but sometimes it still can be a little bit finicky. So when you're sitting up in the tractor traveling down the road, just make sure you keep an eye on your chain here. Make sure that that chain isn't moving. Make sure that it's not spinning. The only time this chain should be spinning is when you are out in the field and that little wheel is engaged that we just looked at the back of the drill. So when this chain is engaged, this obviously puts pressure to lock it in, and you will see this bar moving, which means that it's going to be seating that crop. So yeah, that's one thing that's super important when you are driving down the road. Just make sure that chain is not moving. If that chain is moving, stop, make sure that you have some grease with you, or phone somebody to bring some grease. And it's a quick fix, but usually all it is you need to grease right in here, and then that'll allow this piece to slip past itself when you are going down the road, and it won't cause any damage to any of the sprockets. Up over there when we are going down the road. So one thing to be extremely mindful about. Another interesting thing about the drill, obviously these are your adjustments. So if we do have it engaged and you're out in the field seeding, it can be sometimes hard to tell, depending on your seeding rates or the size of the seed, if there's actually any seed coming out of these little rollers. So there is a nice marker on here to just be able to tell right here, and you can see it from the tractor quite easily. It's reflective, and you'll just see it spinning. So then you can easily tell that your rollers are actually spinning around. Because like I said, it can be hard to tell from inside the tractor. If you have a plugged run, that will still, it'll keep spinning. It won't stop spinning. But if you have a plugged run, all you'll do is you'll see seeds starting to spill out the front of here. To fix that, you lift your drill up. Sometimes all that it takes is just a little shake and a bang of it. If that doesn't work, sometimes you have to undo that clasp and actually shake it out. Or you can totally take this, this is one going to the back, but it's just a rubber clip. You take this off and it slips off. So if you want to take it right off and clean it out, you can do that. If it is more plugged, you'll actually be plugging it right in the seed boot. So that one is a little bit trickier. You might need like a clothes hanger or some air to blow it out. So something else, when you are done using the drill, we would really like it if we could get everybody to clean it out and remove all of the seed that is in the tank. So what you're going to do for that is you're going to get as much of that seed out. You don't want very much seed left in the tank. Maybe just a couple sprinkles left inside of the tank. If you get to the end of the field and you still have seed left in there, you can crank it open further, increase your seeding rate, however you see it fit, to get more of those seeds into the ground versus dumping them on the ground. So once your tank is basically empty, you're going to come to these boots. Right now they're open. So when you're done seeding, you'll see that you're gonna want to have your rollers wide open. So that would be having your setting as far to the right as possible. So the higher, I think right now it's on 50, just for the cleaning it out. And you will take this little piece here and you will drop it all the way open. And that opens this up and all of the seed will fall down through your tube. If there's quite a bit of seed left, you could potentially plug this tube. So that's why we want to try and get as much out. If you do have quite a bit of seed left in here and you don't want to seed it on the ground anymore, a second option would be, okay, so you finish the field, you would come here and you would actually take this off. You would open up your roller as far as you can. So like I said, to the 50 spot on the handle over there. And then you would open this up and that seed's going to just fall right down onto the ground. So then you won't have to worry about plugging the tube or anything. If you have time, again, we would really appreciate it if you had air on hand. Just take an air hose in the tank, and I'll go up there in a little bit and blow air in just to get as much of that leftover seed out as possible. And either you can, if you have a skinny hose, you can stick it here and blow air out down here, and all you do is you watch for the back and you'll see a puff of air and dust come out, so you know that your runs aren't plugged anymore. Second alternative is blowing it out the way that it's unhooked like this, and then taking your air hose, putting it in here and blowing it out. Again, 2 people would make this a lot easier because you can be blowing it out here. The guy on the other side can be feeling to see if that air is coming out, making sure that there's no blockages for the next person to deal with. You want to make sure that that's not pinching any of that rubber. It's easier with 2 hands. So this is your settings. So you're going to have your pounds per acre of seed that you're seeding, and then the notches on the settings down below. So this is where we would take our air hose and just blow all of these out just to make sure that it's empty. So yeah, say for example you want 61 pounds of wheat. We will go to setting number 14. So that would be on here. Pull it down and you would move it over to setting number 14. Another helpful tip when you're driving down the road, make sure that you have your hydraulics locked just for safety purposes. And that's about it. Thanks for watching.